Good evening, everyone. Lori Dixon, hermetician who lives in Canada with CAAE credentials, Church-of-Light teacher, and speaker extraordinaire, will be speaking to us tonight about the strengths and weaknesses of the U.S. candidates' charts. Tonight, we will be viewing Kamala Harris's chart. And next Monday on October 14th, 2024, we will be discussing Donald Trump's chart. Join us as we explore these two charts astrologically, not politically. Welcome, Lori Dixon.
Thank you, Vega. Thank you for a great introduction. I have been studying astrology since the mid-'80s when I got my first computer. In 2022, January, I became a hermetician when I completed the Brotherhood of Light 21 courses on the occult sciences. Course 10, Natal Astrology, Part 2, Progressing the Horoscope, changed the way I now analyze charts. A new approach on progressions provided a better understanding of the intrinsic dance of the science of the stars. With that knowledge tonight, we will build our case, then break it down to an assessment of the event, probably a prediction. So welcome, everyone. Tonight, we'll look at candidate Kamala Harris's astral energy on November the 5th. Next week, Donald Trump, as Vega mentioned. I want to show you a pathway for assessing a major event. C.Z. Zane quotes, "The Hermetic system is not a system of divination. It is a system to find and include all the actual astrological energies which have an important bearing upon human life. The chief purpose in predicting the nature and time of events by natal astrology is to ascertain the time when certain groups of stellar cells within the astral body will receive additional energy, and in what volume and in what harmony or discord it will reach them." Again, quoting Z.Z. Zane, "Look at the birth chart constants and activity. Look at the type of activity the individual already possesses. This is of great importance. The question is there a signature for president?" So looking at the chart, I'm going to start with the decadents, because the decadents are the window to the soul. Dennis Sutton, astrologer, refers to them as the decadence of the personality. Kamala's sun is her most powerful planet. In the Libra Gemini decadent, the mind is often superior. They rise to positions of power and usefulness. Her sun is deposited in her 5th house of taking risks and courage. Next, we have her moon, which is in an opposition position. Her moon at 27 Aries. It's in the Aries Sagittarius decadent, which espouses progressive thinking, using abundance of energy to protecting the weak, and it's deposited in the 11th house of wishes and groups. I refer to the 11th house as politics. Next in power is her ascendant, and her ascendant is very harmonious with the Gemini Aquarius decadent, which gives way to restless mental activity. An immense power of thought can accomplish great things by relying chiefly upon reason And finally, we are going to look at Neptune. We talk about, is there a signature for the president of the United States? Well, the 10th house is has Pisces on the cusp, and her ruler is in the 6th house. Neptune is harmonious, deposited in the 6th house of service to others, in tight sextile to Uranus, Pluto, and Venus in the 4th house of the homeland. Estimating, before I go to there, the accuracy of the birth chart is so important. Both Harris and Trump's charts are AA Rodin rated. They have a birth certificate or record. If the ruler of the event is not reinforced by a minor progression or released by a transit, the house positions are not correct. We have Neptune ruling her 10th house of president. Estimating favorable or unfavorable harmony of each planet involved in the progressed aspect. The birth chart astrodynes, which I have just read, can be considered. The Church of Light horoscope program is exclusive to the astrodynes assessment of the horoscope, providing the power, the harmony, and the discord of the chart. You will see her sun is her most powerful planet, according to her astrodynes. Natal moon comes second, and semi-sextiles both her midheaven and her Saturn. Saturn is her most elevated planet at 28 Aquarius, making an exact trine to her natal sun, 27:48 minutes. And her natal sun is trining her midheaven. Saturn rules her 8th house of support. Natal Mercury, down below here, natal Mercury trines her MC. Jupiter and ascendant, Jupiter in the 12th and her ascendant, are in exact degrees of a semi-sextile. And finally, Neptune, the ruler of her 10th and her 6th house, is in a tight sextile, as mentioned earlier, to Uranus, Pluto, and Venus. So I would say that yes, she has the signature of president. For a major event to happen, there must be a major progressed planet, ascendant or midheaven, in aspect to a natal planet or point within 1 degree of effective orb, also referred to as 1 degree of perfect. This is Hermetic astrology. This is rule 1. It is the structural changes indicated by major progression which adds sufficient energy that can attract important events. So here we have the outer wheel, the majors, to the natal planets called terminals when they're within 1 degree of perfect. Kamala has 7 major progressed terminals and 9 natal terminals on November 5th. Her major progressed sun in her 7th house at 28 Sagittarius 22 minutes, trines her natal moon in the 11th house at 27 degrees Aries. Her natal Saturn, ruler of her 8th house of support, is receiving a sextile from major progressed sun, and her sun and her moon are her power planets. As we move forward, there may be errors. There's so much abundance of mathematical connections. I'm bound to miss 1 or 2 of the aspects involved, but overall, the picture will tell a story. Once we've ascertained that there is a major planet ascendant midheaven within 1 degree of perfect to a natal planet, then we must find a minor progressed planet to reinforce one of the terminals of that original major to natal aspect. This is rule 2. Minors are considered reinforcements. Quoting ZZ Zane, the astrologer who neglects minor progressions will not have that precision of judgment regarding details. Minor progressions add accessory energy to the vibrational electromagnetism going on at that moment in time. Minor progressions emit only 27.3% of power. They act as reinforcers and have no influence on the harmony or discord of the major progressed to natal aspect. Okay, so here I've taken the 3 charts, minor on the outer wheel, major in the middle, natal the inner wheel, and you'll see we have the minors. We have Venus, Sun, Saturn in the 11th house. We have Jupiter and Uranus in the 4th house. And we have Neptune and Mars in the 6th house in the outer wheel, the minor progressions. And I have color coded them so you can easily see. Let's start with minor progressed Mars in the 6th. It's in opposition. It is in inconjunct to major Jupiter. Major Jupiter is in opposition to natal Neptune. So we have a minor progressed planet reinforcing a natal and a major progressed planet. So all the color-coded planets meet the 1 degree of perfect rule. Minor or major progressed planets must be heavier than from the moon. So we discount progressed moon and minor progressed moon when we're looking at aspects within 1 degree of perfect. They move too fast. I use what I created to make the visual so much easier for me, an aspect calculation sheet. Quite simple. It's got the natal, major, minor, and transits, the 4 rows from 0 to 29 degrees. And I place the positions of the planets within their degree position. And I'm looking for that minor. So in this case, we have minor Uranus making a connection to major Saturn and to natal Mercury. We could also say that Uranus is making a connection to major Venus to natal Mercury. So I've done the homework. I've looked at the 1 degree of perfect, and this is the results. So the question you want to ask yourself is, do any of these connections supported by the minors fit this major event? What do we eliminate? So we've got minor Venus. I'm starting at the top of the chart. I'm going to work my way around. We've got minor Venus, ruler of the 12th house and the 5th house. We've got minor Sun, ruler of her 3rd house. Minor Saturn, ruler of her 8th house. Jupiter in the 4th house is ruler of her 7th house. Uranus is ruler of her 9th house. Neptune, ruler of the 10th. This is the question you want to ask yourself. Should I eliminate any of these minor progressions to a major or a natal. Remember, minors are only 27.3% in power. They're negligible. Now I add the transits, the four-wheel chart. A transit planet must release one of the original terminals for a major event to happen. Unless a transit trigger is pressed, the power is not released. It's as simple as that. This is rule 3. Transit astrology alone should be considered only in starting new adventures or doing something important at that time. Transits alone influence thought cell activity, but they do not influence a major event without the minor progressed and major progressions. This is a very busy four-wheel chart and very difficult on the eyes. By using the aspect calculation sheet, you'll quickly see the configurations that support rule 3. I've added the transits in the bottom row. There is a transit to a major and or a natal, and a minor to a major and or a natal terminal. You can now quickly work out which planets are within the 1 degree of effective orb. So here I've done the work. I've confirmed with the blue lines that Mars, transiting Mars, is within 1 degree of effective orb to minor Uranus, major Saturn, major Venus, and natal Mercury. Same, Pluto is only in orb to major Saturn. Saturn was one of those original major terminals at the beginning, rule 1. So the same goes here. I've crossed out, for instance, Mercury, because I need Mercury to connect to the midheaven, the major midheaven, and it is not within the 1 degree of orb. So I've canceled that. The moons are canceled, minor and major moons are canceled. And at the bottom row, 29 Pluto, Pluto does not meet the 1 degree rule to major Sun or natal Saturn. So what's left is what you see in blue. Another way of making the chart easier to view is to remove the minor progressed wheel, because the aspects involved in minor progressions to a major or natal are insignificant. Their purpose is only to fortify the terminals involved. Transits to minors are ignored due to their weak power, with no influence on harmony or discord. So here I have taken the minor wheel out, and you will see I have transits, majors, and natal only. And this is to just show you how the planets are connecting to one another. So the minor progressed wheel, which is inconsequential, has been removed. And now we can see the degrees and the minutes. Transiting Mars here in the 2nd house at 0 degrees Leo was not part of the original terminals, and therefore now acts as a rallying force because it does aspect one or more of the original terminals of that major to natal aspect. So here you see Mars making an inconjunct to Saturn, Mars trining Venus, and Mars squaring Mercury. For 1 degree of perfect, Mars at 0 degrees Leo would be, and that is 28 minutes. You would have to be within 1 degree, 28 minutes. And both Neptune at 1 degree, 27 minutes is in orb, and Venus is 1 degree, 9 minutes, and it is in orb. Mars rules her 11th house, her wish fulfillment, legislature, friends, and Pluto rules her 6th house of service. As I said, all aspects are within 1 degree of perfect. She also has, we'll start at the top, transiting Saturn, was making a inconjunct to her major progressed ascendant and in opposition to her natal Uranus. So that meets rule 3. And then we also have her transiting Sun, sextiling both her major and natal Uranus within 1 degree of perfect. I went back to the 4-wheel chart to show you the difference in visuals when you include the minor progressions. So we have minors, Venus making a connection to both the Saturn configuration to Uranus at 13 and 13, and you have a connection to the Sun. You have a connection from the Sun, Venus to Uranus, and you have a connection Venus to the ascendant minors, majors. You see how easy it is to make a mistake. It's just the amount of information coming from these charts is phenomenal. We have transiting Saturn opposite Uranus. Saturn rules her 8th house of support. Uranus rules her 9th house. And in conjunct major ascendant, with Venus reinforcing both a major and a natal terminal. Her last transiting planet that is in effective orb is transiting Neptune. Transiting Neptune is squaring major Sun, is semisextile natal Saturn in conjunct natal Sun, and semisextile natal Moon. Saturn here is aspecting her 2 power planets, the Sun and the Moon. So now I have taken the transits, outer wheel, major, middle wheel, and natal, inner wheel, and color-coded again the connections. This is called putting it all together. The 3-wheel chart is visually easier to process. We have transiting Saturn, transiting Neptune, transiting Mars, transiting Sun on the outer wheel, connecting to a major, the middle wheel, or a natal planet, all within 1 degree of orb. Transiting Saturn is her most elevated planet along with her major Saturn and her natal Saturn, all elevated. ZZ Zane wants us to note any transiting planets in angular houses. She has Saturn and Neptune. She has her transiting ascendant. She doesn't have any transits in the fourth, but it is loaded with major progressions. And she has transiting moon in her seventh house. You'll note earlier we had planet Pluto at 29 degrees 47 minutes, making a semi-sextile to natal Saturn. So again, I'm looking at the 1 degree of perfect. So 28-27 would have to be 29-27, but Pluto is at 29-47. So it is not making a semi-sextile. 29 Aquarius, sorry. Yep, a semi-sextile to natal Saturn. Is it making a semi-sextile to major progress Saturn? 29-47 would be 0-47. Saturn, major progress Saturn is at 0-17. So yes, it's making a semi-sextile there. But when I had the four-wheel chart, there was no minor reinforcement, and therefore Pluto was dropped. So this is showing you the transiting planets in action. The transiting planets to either a major terminal or a natal terminal. And there's a lot going on. ZZ Zane says it is not difficult to indicate the time of formation of temporary stellar aerials across the astral body, about when to what departments of life will happen. But it is far more difficult to determine the importance, how fortunate or unfortunate it will be, or the specific event. But we can certainly see here that there's a lot of electromagnetic energy. To paraphrase Dane Rudyard, Kamala has several threads of cosmic power coming in from the sublime tapestry of the universe. Because planet Neptune rules her 10th house of presidency, I have decluttered further. I've decluttered the four-wheel chart showing just transiting Neptune, the ruler of her 10th, connecting to the original terminals. You will see here that Neptune is connecting to major Sun, her natal Saturn, her natal Moon, and her natal Sun. And both natal Sun and natal Moon are her strongest, powerful planets. Major Sun connects with natal Sun and natal Moon and natal Saturn. Major progressed, sorry, I made an error there. It is major Sun making a connection to natal Sun, Moon, and Saturn. Minor Neptune, again, ruler of her 10th house, is connecting to her natal Sun, her major Sun, her natal Saturn, her natal moon. And finally, we have minor Jupiter at 27:55, connecting to the major sun, natal Saturn, natal moon, natal sun. With the two planets, the sun at 27:55 and Saturn at 28:30, reinforcing these majors and these natals. The Hermetic pathway has been established in more ways than one. This is a major event for Kamala. This is the pattern of both candidates. Quoting Zizi Zane again, it is not difficult to indicate the time of formation of a temporary stellar aerial across the astral body, about when to what departments of life will happen, but it is far more difficult to determine the importance or how fortunate or unfortunate it will be, the specific event. So bear in mind, an event is not to foretell the inevitable future, but to be able to influence what actually happens by thought cell activity, harmony, or discord. Astrological energies constitute the inner plane weather, gives power to the individual's thoughts and behavior, and gives psychokinetic energy activity to attract the events of the kind they desire into their life. Both candidates have powerful charts on November 5th. Einstein's special theory of relativity led to how inner plane weather energies operate, as well as time-space relationships that bring structural changes within the astral body. Time, velocity, and speed permits astrological energies to be released by progressions. Zizi Zane quotes, "Consider the volume, type, and harmony or discord of the energy added to the stellar cell within the compartment. The importance of an event will be in proportion to the volume of energy received." Zizi Zane looks at the power of the progressions in action to measure the energy being activated, the aspects, house placement, harmony, or discord of the energy in play, and the volume of power the aspects within 1 degree of effective orb have. So we will look at the power of the two charts once we've had a glance at Donald Trump's chart, his progressions next week. So I hope to see you then. Thank you for joining me this evening. Thank you, Vega.